Hi guys, welcome to the next video of the RESTful tutorial series. In the last video we saw how to extract different types of request parameters using annotations like path param, query param, header param, cookie param and form param. Now these annotations have some limitations. We can only extract a single request parameter using these annotations. So if we want to extract multiple parameters, then we need multiple method parameters to be added to the method and then annotate each of these parameters with one of these request extracting annotations. Now we can overcome this limitation, and we'll see exactly that in this video. This could be a little long video, so please bear with me. Let's first check the multiple URI path params and multiple query parameters. And for this, let's create one method, getURIParams, which will be used to extract both the multiple URI params and the query param. Let's use this method name as the path. This is the placeholder for the first parameter. This is the placeholder for the second parameter. So we are trying to extract two URI path parameters from the URI. So this method will give us the multiple URI path parameters extracted from the URI, and it will store in a multi-valued map object which will be returned to us. String, comma, string. What we'll do, we'll write one utility method to extract key value from this multi-valued map object. Now here, first call the keyset method on the object, get the set of string. Now loop through this key set to get the individual key. Inside this we'll just have a sysout. Okay. Let's build this project. Now let's test this by passing this get URI params here in the URL, and we'll pass two parameters, u1 and u2. Let's hit this URL. Okay, so we got the URI param 1 as u1, URI param 2 as u2. So both the parameters u1 and u2 are extracted and printed from our utility method. So this is the way we can extract multiple URI parameters using the URI info object. Now before moving ahead, I want to say something about this @context annotation. Now @context annotation is used to specify that context information should be injected into this method parameter. So this will instruct the runtime to inject the appropriate context information or the object into the annotated field or the method parameter. Now there are different types of context information that can be injected, and they are like URI info, HTTP headers, which we'll see a little later, then request and security context. Now URI info is basically used to get the URI components, while HTTP headers is used to get the HTTP request header parameters, including the cookies. Then we have request object, and that is used to get the entire request object, and security context, that is used to get the information about the security of the requester, like the authentication scheme which they are using. So in this video we'll see the URI info and the HTTP headers, these two context types, which Jersey will populate in the runtime. So for making them populate those objects into our reference variables, we need to annotate these reference variables with @context. Now the scope of this @context information objects are pertaining to the current request. We can even create our own context objects. Okay, now let's check the multiple query parameters, how to extract those. Now for this we'll use the same method, get URI params. We just need to call another method from the UI object, get query params. Let's put one sys out here just to differentiate between these two, URI param and the query param. Multiple query parameters are let's put one here also. Multiple URI parameters are now UI dot get query parameters. It will also return a multi-valued map. Let's use this utility function again to extract the key value from the multi-valued map. Okay, now build the project. Okay, now to test this we use the same URL here, and pass the query parameters as query param1 q1, query param2 q2. Sorry. Okay, now let's hit this URL. Okay, so we are able to get the multiple query parameters, query param1 which is q1 and query param2 which is q2. Now let's test the header parameters. For that we need a separate method. Let's add that method here. Get header param. Let's keep the path same as the method name. Here again we'll use context annotation, and in this we'll use HTTP headers object. This will be populated by the runtime environment since we have annotated it with @context. Now here we have one method hh.getRequest headers. This will again return us a multi-valued map. Object. Use the same utility method. Pass this variable here. Have one sysout also. Build this project. Okay, now to test this, just put this URL here. We'll remove all this. We'll put just this. Okay, so we got all the header parameters. From this HTTP headers object, which was populated by the Jersey runtime. Okay, now let's test the multiple cookie parameters. Now for that we'll use the same method, because we can get cookies from the HTTP headers context object itself. Let's have one sysout for the multiple cookie parameter. It has one method get cookies, which returns a map of string and cookie. Now we cannot use this utility method because this map is a bit different, so we'll just write the code here to extract the key value of these cookies. First get the key set. Now loop through this key set to get the individual keys. Now once this out here, okay. Now to pass the multiple cookies in the request, we have to use the Java client code which we wrote in the previous video. So here we have the Java client code to hit the web service and pass the cookie parameters. So here we have two cookie parameters, cookie 1 and cookie 2. Cookie 1 is email while cookie 2 is last name Sinha, hard coded. And it will hit the get header params. Get header param web service. Okay. Now let's build both the project. Okay, now let's run this JSP. This JSP will actually hit this client servlet, and in this client servlet we are making a call to web service passing the multiple cookie parameters. Now through that web service will extract these cookie parameters. Let's fill up this form. Give name as Atnesh, email as abc@test.com, and this get button. Okay, so we are able to get the cookie parameters. The email, which is abc@test.com, and the other cookie is the last name hard coded to Sinha. Now let's try to get the multiple form parameters. For this we'll use this client.jsp to hit the web service directly instead of hitting the servlet, and which will hit internally to the web service, which will we will try to hit the web service directly from here. Okay, first let's create one separate method for that. Get multiple form params. Post and path. We give the method name as the path. And to extract the multiple form parameters, we have to just have one multi-valued map of string so Jersey takes care of passing those multi-valued multiple parameters, form parameters, into this multi-valued map object, and we have to just extract those parameters from this multi-valued map, which we'll do by using our utility function. Let's have one sys out. And in the JSP, we will use the get multiple form params URL. Let's run this JSP. First we need to build this project. Build the service also. Okay, now let's run this on the server. Fill the form, name is Ratnesh, email as abc@test.com. So these two form parameters we should be able to extract from our user services code. Okay, let's hit this. Okay, so multiple form parameters are username, this value is Ratnesh, email, and value is abc@test.com. So we are able to extract both the form parameters from our web service code. So this is it for this video. We'll see some more things in the RESTful web service in the next video. Thanks for watching.